A very warm welcome to everyone, and thank you for joining this webinar organized by the Universal Peace Federation. Today's program is an initiative of International Association of Parliamentarians for Peace, a project of Universal Peace Federation. Our theme today is the role of parliamentarians in reducing polarization, advancing unity beyond national, religious, ethnic, and political divides. My name is Santosh Kumar Paudel, a coordinator of IAPP in Asia Pacific, and I'm pleased to serve as your moderator for today's program. And we are pleased to announce that this program is now being broadcast live on YouTube and Facebook. We are also delighted to share that more than 135 participants from 21 countries registered for this webinar. And thank you all your valuable participation and support. The IAPP is a global network of parliamentarians dedicated to promoting peace, mutual understanding, and good governance, founded under the vision of UPF. IAPP engages lawmakers in dialogue, cooperation, and initiative that strengthen democracy and peace. It was established as an initiative of UPF founded by Dr. Haq Jahanmun. In today's increasingly polarized world, constructive engagement and principled leadership are essential. Parliamentarians can counter division and build trust among communities through open dialogue and commitment to common values. As we commence today's program, I'm delighted to have the opportunity to introduce the President of Asia Pacific, Mrs. Ursula McLachlan. She is the President of Universal Peace Federation Asia Pacific and a respected lecturer in values-based peace education. She is dedicated to promote peace, ethical leadership, and mutual understanding through international dialogue and education initiative. So please welcome Mrs. Ursula McLachlan for welcome remarks.
Honorable Dan Burton, Global Chairman, International Association of Parliamentarians for Peace, Honorable Sir Jacoba Taia Italeli, Speaker of the Parliament of Tuvalu, Honorable Dr. Dave Akbasha Fukano Laksono, Vice Chairman of Commission 1 in the House of Representatives of Indonesia, Honorable Sajid Premadasa, Leader of Opposition, and Members of Parliament Sri Lanka, Dr. Michael Jenkins, Global Coordinator, International Association of Parliamentarians for Peace, Mr. Larry Moffat, Secretary General, Universal Peace Federation North America, Mr. Santosh Kumar Paudel, Coordinator, IAPP Asia Pacific, distinguished parliamentarians, ambassadors for peace, and honored guests. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm deeply grateful that you have taken the time from your busy schedules to participate in this important webinar on the topic, the role of parliamentarians in reducing polarization, advancing unity beyond national, religious, ethnic, and political divides. For some of you, it is early morning, and for others, late at night. However, the issue of the polarization in our societies is truly a global phenomenon, not just a problem in the Asia Pacific. The reasons for polarization might vary. It might be due to different political standpoints, or could be religiously or racially motivated. In Asia, we have seen conflicts caused by the generation gap between young and old. Whatever the cause of the conflict, UPF aims at peaceful conflict resolution through dialogue, mutual understanding, and respect for the other party. We need to strive for a win-win solution where all sides feel heard and listened to, and their grievances are addressed. UPF and IAPP, in our role as peace-building organizations, we facilitate open dialogue and honest heart-to-heart communication as a first step to building trust and an environment where conflicting parties can come to an understanding and find a basis for constructive cooperation. I believe you will learn a lot from the experiences and thoughts of our distinguished speakers today. I look forward to an inspiring and stimulating program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, our President of UPF Asia Pacific, Mrs. Ursula McLachlan, for your warm welcome message. Before we begin our main part of today's program, please allow me to introduce our important dignitaries and our speakers of this program today who have joined us on Zoom. Let us welcome our Honorable Dan Burton, the Global Chairman of IAPP and former US Congressman, and Honorable Sir Jacoba Teia Italeli, Speaker of Parliament Tuvalu, Honorable Dave Laksono, Vice Chairman of Commission, House of Representatives, Republic of Indonesia, Honorable Sajid Premdasa, for Leader of Opposition and Member of Parliament from Sri Lanka, Dr. Michael Jenkins, the Global Coordinator of IAPP, Sir Larry Moffitt from the Secretary General of UPF North America, and also I would like to introduce here Honorable Rajiv Bikram. He is a Finance Minister of Nepal from the Karnali province, and I saw so many our Member of Parliament have joined across our Asia Pacific and the world. So in the interest of time, I'm unable to recognize all the distinguished parliamentarians and ambassadors for peace and leaders that are with us today. We are deeply grateful for your participation and hope you will find our discussion rewarding. And then also, I'd like to announce we'll have a short question and answer session at the end of the program. Please submit your relevant questions in the chat box and we will present selected questions to our distinguished speakers. And thank you very much. Now it is my distinct honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Honorable Dan Burton. Honorable Dan Burton, the Congressman Dan Burton is currently the Global Chairman of IAPP, International Association of Parliamentarians for Peace. Congressman Burton served in the U.S. House of Representatives for 30 years as a Republican from the state of Indiana. He served on the Foreign Affairs Committee, where during most of his congressional career, he was either chairman or ranking member of the Subcommittee on Asia and Pacific. He also served on the Subcommittee on the Middle East, Europe, and Eurasia, as well as the Subcommittee on Africa and Western Hemisphere. His work on the Foreign Affairs Committee gave him many opportunities to visit the nations of Northeast Asia and gain a better understanding of the complex issue in this part of the world. So let us now welcome our keynote speaker, Honorable Dan Burton.
You are muted.
Congressman, yeah.
Congressman, unmute.
There we go. Is that better?
There we go.
First of
Very
all,
good.
it's a real pleasure to be with all my friends around the world and those who are looking in who aren't with us right now. I want to thank you very much. This is a very, very important meeting today, and I hope we reach hundreds or maybe thousands of people everywhere. I want to start off by thanking Dr. Hak Jahan Moon and her husband for starting IAPP and the World Peace Federation, because they've done so much over the years to further the cause of peace. And if there's ever been a time when we need to have peace in this world, it's right now. You know, I served in Congress for a long time, and one thing I learned was that people everywhere desire peace, security, opportunity, dignity, and a future for their families. Today, however, the world faces growing and complex challenges. Territorial disputes continue to threaten stability. Religious and racial conflicts divide societies. Environmental degradation and climate change affect every nation in one way or another. Violent extremism, poverty, hunger, corruption, and the threat of nuclear proliferation is a real threat, and it reminds us how very important what we're talking about today is, because we have to talk about ways to solve these problems so we don't involve ourselves in another conflict. Wars don't solve anything. They just make things worse. And what we need to do is we need to solve these things by sitting down, talking to each other throughout the world, and working our problems out without having a conflict. That's the reason that this organization and my colleagues and I are a part of today. The International Association of Parliamentarians for Peace and the World Peace Federation is extremely important, because parliamentarians around the world represent constituents, people that they can talk to, that elect them, that work with them. And they need to get the message out to these people all over the world as leaders, telling them how important it is that we solve our problems in a peaceful, effective way. And that can be done. Right now, we have wars in the Middle East. We have wars in Europe. We have wars in Africa. And all these things are doing nothing but spending money, hurting the economies, and killing thousands of people. There's a better way to do this, and that's what IAPP is all about. Peace requires more than just treaties. It requires trust. It requires dialogue, people talking to each other. And above all, it involves moral leadership, like the IAP leaders we have with us today. People who believe in a moral approach to solving our problems without a war. In recent years, we witnessed increased polarization around the world. Too often, disagreement becomes hostility, and differences are used to divide other than unite us. History teaches that lasting progress is achieved through work and love, not hatred and isolation, but through cooperation and mutual respect. We must reject the idea that peace is weakness. A lot of people around the world who are totalitarians believe that peace shows weakness. What we need to do is show that peace shows strength, that by talking to each other and working out our problems without a conflict, we're really showing very strong leadership, the kind of leadership that will solve our problems without conflict. We must reject the idea that peace is weakness. Peace requires strength, it requires courage, and it requires wisdom, a lot of wisdom. Addressing these issues requires not only laws and enforcement, but it involves ethical leadership like the leaders we have with us today, and a commitment to universal values. The strength of IAPP lies in the vision that people of different nations, different races, religions, and political perspectives can work together for the common good. Regardless of your background, we can work together. Regardless of your religious beliefs, we can work together for the common good. That vision is needed now more than ever. The future will depend on leaders like those who are going to be speaking today and those leaders who are watching today. You folks who are watching, these folks are going to be talking today. They're the people that can help put this together so that we start working and achieving world peace. I don't want to see any more wars in the Middle East. I don't want to see any more wars in Egypt. I mean, in Europe. I don't want to see any more wars in Africa, where a lot of people are being killed even today over religious differences. We need to talk together, sit down together, work together, and morally solve these problems without conflict. The future will depend on people like you, my colleagues today, who want to build bridges instead of barriers, who choose dialogue instead of division, and who place humanity above politics. Politics is not as important as humanity. Sure, we have to have politics, but we have to love our fellow man, love our fellow women, and have humanity to work these problems out. The future will depend on people like our speakers today, and like the people who are watching today around the world, who want to build bridges instead of barriers, who choose dialogue instead of division, and who place humanity, as I said before, above politics. You and I, who are working together in IAPP, can create a world where future generations inherit not greater conflict, but greater hope. The young people today who are growing up, we need to let them know that peace can be achieved, that there can be hope in the world without conflict. A world where peace is built not merely through power, but through cooperation, justice, and shared values. I want to thank all of you today who are on the panel, all of you who are watching and listening. I want to thank you so much for your cooperation and your future cooperation to bring about a world of love, peace, and prosperity. And it can happen. And all I want to say is thank you very much for being with all of you. God bless each and every one of you. And I look forward to our conference today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Congressman Honorable Dan Burton, for your thought-provoking message, and really appreciate your presence here. Thank you, sir. So now, before we hear from our Dr. Michael Jenkins, I'd like to uh, recognize our few dignitaries who are in Zoom today. Please allow me to also introduce Honorable Sujata Koirala, the former Deputy Prime Minister of Nepal and former Foreign Minister, as well as we have many Member of Parliament joining. So my pleasure to really introduce Honorable Hari Upreti, former Defense Minister, Honorable Kunti Kumari Sahi, Member of Parliament, Honorable Tara Lama Tamang, Member of Parliament, and Honorable Kamala Vishwakarma, the Honorable Member of Parliament, and our, as well as we have a Finance Minister, Honorable Rajiv Bikram Saha. Thank you, sir, and thank you, ma'am, for joining all of us today. So now we'll hear the remarks from Dr. Michael Jenkins. Dr. Michael Jenkins is a global coordinator of IEPP as well as the North American Regional President of Universal Peace Federation, as an NGO that serves in the general consultative status to the United Nations Economic and Social Council. He is also chairman of the Washington Times, holding the LLC that owns the Washington Times newspaper. In addition, he is the president of the Washington Times Foundation, the non-profit charitable organization affiliated with the Washington Times. He has led numerous fact-finding trips for congressional and policy leaders to the pivotal flashpoint areas of Northeast Asia and the Middle East to engage the educational policy discussion with current and former head of the state, parliamentarians, military leaders, and policymakers. So let us welcome Dr. Michael Jenkins.
Thank you so much, Santosh, and for your leadership as coordinator of IAPP for all of the Asia Pacific. Thank you to our global chairman, Congressman Dan Burton, and to his wife, Dr. Samia Burton, who is a medical doctor, and they work so closely with us and with Dr. Hahn and the Work for Peace. He's been the IAPP global chair since January of 2016 when IAPP was first founded. And just thank you, Dan, for your leadership and your courage also. I also want to thank Mrs. Ursula McLaughlin, our president of UPF Asia Pacific. And I'm very honored to be with you. Larry Moffat, our Secretary General from North America, is here, and Honorable Italeli, and from Tuvalu, Speaker, and also Honorable Dave Lacthono, Vice Chairman of Commission, House of Representatives, Republic of Indonesia, and Honorable Sejith Pramadasa, the Leader of Opposition from and a Member of Parliament from Sri Lanka. We've been very honored to host President Sirisena at the Washington Times, and we had great experiences there. I want to thank everybody who's come for IAPP. They're a tremendous move of the parliamentarians throughout Asia, and I can see how we work together. We just had our meeting with Europe last week, and we had their meeting with South America and Central America, and we also have had our meetings with the Middle East. It's quite amazing when you think that the members of Parliament all over Africa. We have 33 nations in Africa, and it's just amazing the number of parliaments who have created offices in their parliament for IAPP. A number of African parliaments have created a permanent office for IAPP in the Parliament building. And I'm so grateful for the leadership here. It's the largest population in the world, the most important area for the future of peace and prosperity for the world is Asia. And we're happy also to see the trip of President Trump to China and also the good communication with President Xi Jinping. We really believe that dialogue, as Congressman Burton was saying, is critically important because if dialogue and communication doesn't go forward, then we can get to a conflict that can lead to war. The parliamentarians are also the people who really have formed the strongest aspect of all of our associations. We have the ISCP, which is the International Islamic Council for Peace, which is heads of state, former and current heads of state. We got IAPD, which is faith leaders, IAED, which is economic development for business leaders. We got the Culture and Arts Association, as well as the IASC, the International Association of Scholars or Academicians for Peace. It's really quite an amazing group of associations of professionals in each area. But I do believe, and I'm not biased at all, I think the IAPP is the most powerful because members of parliaments, like Congressman Burton said, are connected with the people directly. And they represent the people, but they're also connected with the heads of state and with the judiciary and with the leadership of the nation. They're also connected with the faith leaders throughout their nations. So parliamentarians are like central to bringing the nation together. And what we're seeing right now is we would like to have more regular communications like this. We're so honored to be here with you. And we really want to emphasize the fundamental pillars of UPF, which is that family is central. Marriage and family is one of our most central values. The best element to bring prosperity and peace is to have strong families and raise the children with that kind of loyalty and the tradition and trust. And I just want to take a moment to honor one family that's really very special to us. Dan had a co-chairman for many years from Asia, your great region. Honorable Speaker Jose D. Venecia has gone on to the next world. We honor him. I know some of you were there at his memorial service, and he was such a great leader. He was one of the founders of ASEAN. He was head of ASEAN several times. I mean, it really brought also the IAPP momentum. So we just want to thank God for the Honorable Speaker Jose D. Venecia, and we wish him well. And his wife Gina is a great member of Parliament in the Philippines. She's very strong leadership from that family. And his son just finished his term and has to step out of his congressional seat. So that's the IAPP. We would like to have kind of an exchange going on regularly with Congressman Burton. So we want to make it easier for you to reach him and easier for us to have dialogue, because the U.S. Congress should serve the world. We do believe in the IAPP, and from our founders, Father and Mother Moon, we believe that America has a role to serve, not to do anything but be a central place where all races, all peoples, all nations can come together. And we know America has a lot of work to do to take that role more effectively. But that's the heart of Congressman Burton. He absolutely loves everybody. I mean, this man is amazing. And I know it's because his wife loves him so much, but he really has no problem in any country. He's been to Africa 120 times. He was head of the Western Hemisphere Committee on Africa, Committee on Asia Pacific. He was the head of every one of the foreign affairs committees. He also became quite feared in America because, as the head of government oversight, he was the one that held the president, several presidents, under the microscope of government oversight. And he was not easy to get along with. He was a very strong congressman, but very loving. He's never angry at people. But that's what we want to do. We want to make America, as our IAPP co-chairman is from America, 30 years in Congress. We want to make that the hub of service. So that's how we would like to really break through. So family values are very central to the IAPP. We have to have fidelity in marriage. You can't teach fidelity if you don't have fidelity. So, but we need to help each other. That's a process of morality and growth. We also really want to have the understanding of how to serve one another. And I know Ursula is a servant. Uh, she's amazing, and so is Santosh. They're amazing people. So if you ever need any money, just call Ursula or Santosh, and they will send money your way. Or they might send you a sandwich or something else. But they will try. They will serve. We have to serve each other, and we have to stop the wars. Dr. Leck, great to see you. We have to stop the war. And that's why it's a difficult thing right now. We're in the midst of very dangerous situations in the world. That's why I think also what's going on in the Middle East is quite sensitive. But we found when we make coalitions of nations, we can really also lead the way to peace more effectively. That's why President Trump yesterday stopped the military action, because Qatar, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia and Bahrain asked him to give them a few more days to see if they could work out something. That's an amazing thing. But the power of your nations cannot be underestimated. If we form a coalition of nations that are really positive in dialogue with America and working with America too, America will listen. If we're just one nation trying to get other nations to listen, you can do that too sometimes with your great leadership. But a lot of times it doesn't work so easily. So we need that coalition of nations. That's why IAPP can make that more effectively than even the heads of state. The heads of state have a different role, a very,
Yes.
very central role. So finally, Dan and I have been to Cambodia several times for IAPP and many of the Asian nations. We're just so honored to be with you. But I'll never forget, we were election observers in Cambodia a couple years ago. I think, Ursula, you were probably with us, and Santosh. But Dan Burton made world news there because he was an election observer, and there are a lot of people, questioning whether that would really be fair to have the election of, Hun Manet, the son of Hun Sen, who we really respect. Both of them we know and respect so much. But Dan was there as an observer, and we talked to everybody, and we saw that the election was quite well done, quite fair, actually. We could see, and we had about 20 observers. We had also the president of the Parliament of the Senate of Pakistan was with us, former prime minister. It was really great. Dan got on television and then said, you know what? This was a great election, and we have a lot of problems with our elections in America. So I think America could learn from Cambodia. And that
Absolutely.
really that really made a great impact. It was great. People were shocked in America, but it was true. Americans have been having trouble with elections. But we really believe your countries can shine and be examples. And that's every country, without exception, has infinite value. There's
Right.
something about your nation has infinite value, cannot be replaced, cannot be duplicated just by other nations. And then when we form the coalitions together, we can make economic, powers that help us all prosper together. So I want to thank you, and we're looking forward to our future dialogue as we go forward. Thank you, Dr. Ursula and Santosh, and to all the members of IAPP here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Michael Jenkins, for your very encouraging and inspiring word. So, moving forward, I would like to introduce our few dignitaries who are in Zoom today. Former Member of Parliament, Honorable Sunita Baral, and Honorable Deepak Prasad Kuikel, and Honorable Krishna Bhakta Pokhrel, and Ministry of Secretary Mr. Dhurba Prasad Paudel, and also Mrs. Sunita Guru. So now next, it is my honor to invite here the Secretary General of UPF North America, Mr. Larry Moffitt. Mr. Larry Moffitt is the North American Regional Secretary General of Universal Peace Federation and Executive Director of Washington Times Foundation. Previously, he served as a Vice President of International Operations for United Press International and Vice President of Editorial Operations for the Spanish language. Tiempos del Mundo newspaper published in 17 cities of the Americas. He led fact-finding trips to the former Soviet Union during the 1980s at the height of the Cold War. He also took groups of the journalists and Korea export to North Korea twice. He was a weekly columnist for the Washington Times. So please help me to welcome Mr. Larry Moffitt.
Your Michael, Larry.
There we
Your
go.
mic.
Yes. Good evening, good morning, everybody. Thank you very much. I just want to say a big special thank you to Santosh and Ursula and all those who helped to organize this thing. We look forward to doing so many more. And I am so amazed and honored to see such this group of distinguished people. Thank you very much.
Is that all you're going to say,
Thank you.
Larry?
That's it. Short and sweet.
Thank you very much, Mr. Larry Moffitt, for your remarks. So now next, we'll be hearing from our distinguished panelists. So our first presenter is our Honorable Sir Jacoba Teia Italeli, the Speaker of Parliament Tuvalu. Sir Jacoba Teia Italeli is a prominent Tuvaluan statesman and legal professional who currently serves as a Speaker of Parliament of Tuvalu. He previously served as a Governor General of Tuvalu from 2010 to 2019 and Attorney General from 2002 to 2006 and Minister of Education, Sports and Health from 2006 to 2010. He has also served as a Member of Parliament representing the Nui constituency. So let's welcome our Sir Honorable Jacoba Teia Italeli.
Thank you, Santos. Honorable speakers, distinguished colleagues, respected friends, and esteemed partners. I would like to register and record my I heartfelt appreciation for the organizers for the opportunity given to me to participate in this very important forum on the role of parliamentarians in reducing polarization and advancing unity beyond national, religious, ethnic, and political divides. Excellencies, polarization is one of the defining challenges of our era. It manifests in political stalemates, ethnic tensions, religious intolerance, and national rivalries. If left unchecked, it erodes trust in institutions and undermines social cohesion and obstructs development. As parliamentarians, we are entrusted not only with the power to legislate, but with the duty to safeguard unity. Today, I wish to outline how we can advance unity beyond national, religious, ethnic, and political divides. Parliament is the heart of democratic governance, as we all know. It is where diverse voices converge, where differences are debated, and where compromise are forged. Our mandate is not simply to represent constituencies, but to ensure that representation strengthens the collective rather than fragmentations. The legitimacy of Parliament rests on its ability to embody inclusivity, fairness, and respect for diversity. We have to understand the roots of polarization. And polarization does not arise in a vacuum. It is often fueled by economic inequality that pits communities against one another, identity politics that manifest differences rather than commonalities, disinformation and divisive rhetoric, which are always amplified by media and technology, historical grievances that remains unsolved. As parliamentarians, we must recognize these root causes and address them through policy, dialogue, and reconciliations. What are legislative tools to reduce polarization in our respective countries? As as parliamentarians, we possess powerful instruments to counter division, such as inclusive legislation. Laws must protect minority rights, promote gender equality, and ensure equitable access to resources. Oversight and accountability. By holding governments accountable, we prevent corruption and favoritism that breed resentment. Budgetary fairness. The allocation of resources equitably across regions and communities will reduce perception of neglect. Education and civic awareness is supporting curriculum that emphasizes tolerance, history of coexistence, and democratic values. What are international and regional frameworks that will strengthen our commitments? I was looking at the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which reminds us that dignity belongs to all, regardless of identity. The Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, emphasize reducing inequalities and promoting peaceful, inclusive societies. Regional charters such as the African Charter on Democracy, Elections, and Governance, or the Pacific Island Forum commitments highlights the importance of unity in diverse existence or coexistence or diverse unity in diversity. By referencing these frameworks, parliamentarians can anchor domestic policies in universally recognized principles. Parliamentarians must serve not only as legislators, but as mediators or mediators. And this means that establishing cross party caucuses to address national issues collectively, creating interfaith and intercultural dialogue platforms to foster understanding, supporting truth and reconciliation processes where historical grievances persist, and to encourage youth participation to ensure future generations inherit a culture of unity rather than division. The leadership role of parliamentarians is not measured by how loudly one defends a partisan position, but by how effectively one builds bridges. Parliamentarians must model respect discourse, reject inflammatory rhetoric, and demonstrate that compromise is not weakness, but wisdom. In times of crisis, unity must be our guiding principles. Colleagues, respected friends, the responsibility before us is profound. We must speak with restraint and respect. We must legislate with fairness and inclusivity. We must govern with transparency and accountability. We must engage with empathy and humility. By doing so, we transform Parliament from a chamber of division into a beacon of reconciliation. In conclusion, friends, unity is not uniformity. It is the recognition that diversity enriches us, that differences can coexist within a shared commitment to peace and progress. As parliamentarians, our legacy must be more than laws. It must be the preservation of trust, solidarity, and hope. Let us rise above divides and demonstrate that unity is the highest form of leadership. Thank you very much indeed. God bless us all.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you so much, Sir Jacoba Teia Italeli, for your wonderful remarks and very inspiring message. Our next speaker is Honorable Dave Laksono, Vice Chairman of Commission 1, House of Representatives of Republic of Indonesia. Honorable Dev Akbar Saha Fikarno Loksano is an Indonesian politician and member of the House of Representatives of the Republic of Indonesia. He currently serves as a Vice Chairman of Commission 1, which oversees defense, foreign affairs, communication and intelligence matters. A member of Golkar Party, he has been active in parliamentary affairs and national policy discussion, particularly on security, diplomacy, and international cooperation. So now, please help me to welcome Honorable Deb Laksono.
Good mornings, greetings. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, and may be peace upon us all. Distinguished colleagues, esteemed parliamentarians, and all participants of this very important and significant webinar. It is truly an honor for me to join you today in this timely discussion with the title of The Role of Parliamentarians in Reducing Polarizations, Advancing Unity Beyond National, Religious, Ethnic, and Political Divides. I would like to extend my highest appreciations to the Universal Peace Federations and the International Associations of Parliamentarians for Peace to convene such a meaningful platform. We gathered today in a moment where many societies across the world are facing increasing fragmentations. Differences, whether political, religious, or cultural, are often amplified, sometimes at the expense of social cohesion. In such an environment, the responsibility of parliamentarians becomes even more critical. As representatives of the people, parliamentarians are entrusted not only with legislating policies, but also with nurturing unity. Our role extends beyond formal duties. It requires moral leadership, the ability to listen across differences, and to encourage and promote dialogue where division might exist. From Indonesia's perspective, diversity has always been both a reality and a strength. Our national experience reminds us that unity is not achieved by eliminating differences, but by managing them through mutual respects, inclusiveness, and shared commitments to the greater good. This principle remains highly relevant in today's global context. This perspective also shapes how Indonesia engages with international challenges. In responding to the humanitarian situation in Gaza, Indonesia has consistently called for an immediate ceasefire and emphasized the importance of a peaceful, negotiated solution. Beyond statements, Indonesia has actively contributed through humanitarian assistance and has expressed readiness to support broader international efforts aimed at recovery and stability. These steps reflect a belief that peace requires both political will and tangible support for the affected communities. At the same time, Indonesia has maintained a consistent position in encouraging restraint amid rising tension involving major powers, including developments surrounding the United States, Israel, and Iran. Rather than taking sides, Indonesia has emphasized the importance of dialogue, de-escalations, and adherence to international law. This approach underscores the idea that sustainable peace cannot be achieved through confrontation, but can be attained through communications and mutual understanding. In addressing polarization, parliamentarians can play a constructive role in several ways. First, by fostering open and respectful dialogue within legislative institutions and with the communities we represent. Second, by ensuring that public policies reflect fairness and inclusivity so that no group feel marginalized. And third, by setting an example demonstrating that disagreement does not have to lead to division. Equally important is collaboration across borders. Platforms such as IAPP provide valuable opportunities for parliamentarians to exchange perspective, learn from one another, and build common ground in addressing shared challenges. In this regard, multilateral dialogue is not only beneficial, but becomes a necessity. I remain optimistic that through principled leadership and sustained engagement, we can reduce polarizations and strengthen the foundation of peaceful and resilient societies. While differences will always exist, they should serve as a source of richness, not conflict. I look forward to engaging in this discussion and gaining valuable perspective from fellow speakers. Thank you again for the trust and the opportunities to be able to contribute in this magnificent event. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Honorable Deb Laksono, for your very thoughtful contribution. And then now, we really appreciate all the speakers for today's your really the presence and also your all the contribution. So now I will go to the question and answer session. So I will read. I have collected the questions from our participants. So first, I will this question deliver here, and for this honorable Congressman Dan Burton. The question is here: in an era where democratic institutions are increasingly challenged by ideological extremism, disinformation, and geopolitical competition, how can parliamentarians institutionalize bipartisan or multi-party mechanism that safeguard national cohesion while still protecting democratic dissent and freedom of expression?
Well, that's a very difficult question. Uh, I think that's why the International Association of Parliamentarians is so important, because if we run into a logjam like that, parliamentarians in that area, in the surrounding countries, can contact their counterparts and say, this is a logjam that has to be broken. We have to work out our differences. We have to work out a way to communicate, because communication and dialogue is the best way to solve these problems. There's no question, in every country, you're going to have some hardheads who won't listen to anybody. And that's why it's very important that the International Association of Parliamentarians use their presence, use their friends in that country to communicate with the person who is a problem and say, we have to work together, otherwise the problems will get worse. And if we do that, I think we won't be able to solve all the problems, but we'll solve a lot of them.
Thank you, Honorable Dan Burton, for your very kind response. And another question is for our Sir Yakoba. And the question is here: the considering that polarization today is no longer confined within national borders, but is also shaped by transnational religious, ethnic, and digital network. What role can interparliamentary diplomacy can play in developing preventive frameworks for conflict reduction and strengthening a shared culture of global citizenship and peace?
I'm not sure he heard the question. Did he?
Sorry,
Can you hear me?
Yes, now.
Okay. Okay. As I alluded to in my presentation, it's best to establish cross-party caucuses to address national issues collaboratively and creating a interfaith and intercultural dialogue, a platform where to foster the understanding. I totally agree with the global chairman that it's only through dialogue so that we can establish our understanding of the differences and to live in peace. I think those are the things that we have to look at it and to establish also and to encourage youth participation. And also in schools, we have to develop curriculums where we can educate our children to make peace
Mhm.
and not confrontation. I think these are the main issues that parliamentarians can look at it and develop sort of legislations that are inclusive, not separating people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sorry Akoba, for your very kind response. So now I will read the question for Dr. Michael Jenkins, if you are ready. Okay, so I have two questions. I will read very fast. How does this organization helps developing countries, specifically African countries, to understanding the rule of democracy and embrace it? This is because true democracy is the basis of peaceful coexistence. And second question, diversity is good. How parliamentary dare to have different position with the government and their applicable opinion for people? It's some joint of government and parliamentary, but forget what the necessary of grassroots people. How to make fair index of neutral position to grassroots.
Thank you. First, what we can do to benefit and bring democratic principles and support fairness and dialogue is, I think, the example I see in Asia, but also in IAPP in Africa has been outstanding because of the prominence of many of the parliamentarians who came forward to take leadership in IAPP. They're not only speaking from within their own nation and to their own nation, but they're speaking as international leaders who are already working with a coalition of representatives from many different nations. And many of our nations face the same problems. We have challenges in terms of ideology, we have challenges to democracy, and we have challenges where some countries do not have a democracy. How do we overcome that? I think that what I've seen is the benefit of the wisdom of the IAPP, which, by the way, has many former presidents and prime ministers also, like President Traore from Mali has become the head of IAPP for all of Africa. He wanted to stay with the parliamentarians more than being part of the Association of Heads of State. So that's what I see. This coalition gives you that kind of background to draw from and to speak to. And the second question, can you say it one more time? Santosh, can you bring me the second question in short form?
Yes, so let me read again. Diversity is good. How parliamentary dare to have different position with government and their applicable opinion for people. It's some joint of government and parliamentary, but forget what the necessary of grassroots people. How to make fair index of neutral position to grassroots.
Well, that's not a simple thing. We've had a lot of trouble with diversity in the United States. There's been racial divisions and racial conflicts, and even today there's tremendous conflicts. But I see that those people who also know how to love all races, all religions, I think that value itself allows us to really make harmony among diversity. So I think the teaching of IAPP is very important by the IAPP parliamentarians. And that teaching is we have to have a ground of absolute respect for every religion. We have to have a ground for absolute respect for every race and every culture. And it's not easy. It's not easy. It does, from just being taught that, we have to interact. So I think forums where we intentionally bring diversity together is what helps us learn about how to expand and embrace diversity and help bring diversity peacefully into our nations. So that's what happened at the World Summits of UPF over and over again. We're going to have more at the end of this year. World Summits have been incredibly effective at bringing 150 nations together, every religion, every diversity possible. But somehow the atmosphere created there over, the last 2 decades, since 2005, when UPF was formed, an atmosphere has been created where I could see enemy countries could respect one another's diversity. So I think that that's how I see us progressing with that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
And
much.
Santosh, if I may say one more thing beyond the question, because we talked about this when we were preparing for the program, but I just want to take a moment to thank you, all parliamentarians, for your support for our founder, Dr. Hak Jahan, who is
Yes.
currently in prison now in Korea. And that the case has run its course, and the case is falling apart right now. They have no evidence of her doing something illegal. And she had one staff person that went off and went the wrong direction. He was convicted, but he tried to blame her for everything. Uh, we don't know the outcome yet. We do see that it's not only a matter of law, it's also a matter of some people being against bringing unification of all people and the peace work. Some people are strongly against that. Ideologically, there's some against it. Some are also very hesitant to support the idea of North and South Korea coming together. So I just want to thank you for your support for her and your prayers for her. We do believe she will be vindicated, but thank you.
Thank you so much. I saw many beautiful comments and also very uplifting, your encouraging word. So before I end, I just want to pick up for Honorable Dan Burton. This is the last question. So in light of current global event, especially those in the Middle East, are parliamentarians acknowledging the significance of interreligious connections for global unity and the process of international interfaith discussion? Additionally, what suggestion do they offer? The of understanding, sorry, in the context of strengthening democratic governance and social solidarity, how can state effectively balance the safeguarding freedom of expression with addressing divisive political rhetoric? They're asking about Middle East, especially the situation in Israel and also the Iran. Honorable Dan Burton, please.
Well, thank you. I think that's a broad question, and it's a very important one. We touched on it already. The thing is, you have people who have very strong religious beliefs, and many times their religious beliefs transcend into political beliefs, and the country is affected by the religious attitudes of individuals. What we have to do, and this is a very difficult thing, is we have to convince people who have strong religious convictions that they have to be able to work with other religious leaders who don't necessarily agree. Because if they don't, they reach a loggerhead which leads to not just disagreement, but conflict. We have seen so many times there have been religious wars throughout history between Christians and Muslims and others. And it really doesn't solve the problem. It only changes whoever's in control for the time being, and then the war goes the other way. So what we have to do is we have to sit down and say, yes, I don't believe the way you do, but I do understand what you're saying. And I respect you as a human being. And even though we don't agree, we need to work together for the benefit of humanity. Sure, we have our religious differences, but for the benefit of humanity and peace, we need to talk together and reason together and realize there are strong disagreements, but we can work around those if we really want to. And I want to add one more thing. One of the things that troubles me is we see so much youth in various countries around the world, including the United States, who are going off in the wrong direction. They're involving themselves in riots and disorders and other things. And we need to not only make sure that law is passed, that they follow the laws and that there's discipline. And if they break the law, they have to suffer the penalties of it. But what we need to do as adults, as leaders in our communities, as political leaders, as legislators, as representatives of the people, we need to set an example and tell young people, yes, you have your differences. You get upset, just like we do. But you have to realize there's a way to reason things out without conflict. If we set the example and we really work at it, I think it will have a positive impact on young people and on the youth. And after all, the youth is the future of America, of every country we're talking about, and the future of the world. And if we can't teach them to get along now, just think what it'll be like when they get older. They become leaders, and we get into the nuclear age even more, and chemical and biological warfare. We need to get them to understand we have to work our differences out through dialogue and understanding, even though we do have strong differences. Otherwise, the future won't be very great. So it's up to us as leaders and adults to set a very strong example for the young people coming up.
Thank you so much, Honorable Dan Burton, for your really investment and such a great answer response. And now I would like to end here our question and answer session. So thank you everyone for your very robust and enjoyable question and answer discussion, open discussion. So now in closing, I would like to thank all our speakers for your very wise and informative presentation and for everyone's comment and also your questions. A big thank you for our participants for your deeply appreciated interest and support, and also to our technical team and all the staff who made this our webinar very possible. So now, before we part, we'll have our commemorative photo for the record. Please, everyone, turn on your video and give us your beautiful smile.
Okay, everybody on?
Come on, Larry, smile.
Beautiful.
What a good-looking group.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you all so very much. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you again, and please
Okay,
have very
also,
enjoyable
we are
rest of the day.
We are
Thank
Whatever
designing.
your time zone, God
everybody.
bless you, your
Thank you,
family,
everyone.
and see you again.
colleagues.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Organizers, thank you very much.
God bless you.
God bless all of you.
And that is the lapel pin that Congressman Burton has ordered for all of you. Whereas a special IAPP lapel pin is now on order.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless everyone.
There you go.
There it
Thank
is
you
again.
all.
It's very nice.
Yes.
Thank you from Australia.
Okay, thank you very
Thank
much.
you,
God bless
Australia.
all of
Thank
you.
you, Dr.
Thank
you from India.
Fayama. Nice to see you.
Thank you for
Thank
thank you from
you.
India, all the organizations of the IAPT.
All dear leaders from
Great mind.
Kabul, thank you.
Thank you, everybody from
Sri Lanka.
Let's make peace
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
everybody
to
from
my
India.
wife.
from
I
Cambodia
pray for
with
Kabul.
love.
Thank you,
Thank
Ashika.
you. Thank you, Cambodia. Thank you to all Asia
Thank you,
Pacific.
Honorable Tara Lama
Great
Tamangju.
job.
Thank you, Honorable
Great
Sunita
leadership.
ji.
Thank you, Honorable Kunti ji. Thank you, Honorable Hari ji. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Take care.
See you
Have a
in
good
next
time.
program.
Thank you,
again.
everybody.
Yeah,
This was
bye-bye.
very successful. This is a good beginning, and we are going to do this a lot and
Yes.
become a group that works together and stays together.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, all the honorable speakers.
Thank you and see you again.